So Scotland 17, France 36, a thoroughly entertaining game, dry conditions, but a vicious wind. At half-time, Scotland were well in this game, but then France pull ahead. Let's get into it and talk about the key points and some things I found interesting, players that played well and reasons why France won. Unfortunately, even though Scotland score 17 points, they don't get anything from the game. France do, however, get a bonus point victory. So huge game for them, plus of course pushes them towards the potential Grand Slam. So anyway, in this first half, Scotland are actually starting fairly solid. Their scrum's looking good. Their defence is pretty decent. And immediately, Rory Darge makes a turnover. That guy was phenomenal all game. What a find. He's got to start, absolutely. You know, when Watson is back, when Ritchie is back, that'll be interesting. But Darge just looks pure quality. All Scottish fans have been telling me how good he is, and he's proved it on the highest stage. Anyway, Scotland do try and play out of their half in the early parts there and gift an easy three-pointer, but it's a horror kick from Jaminet with the wind, to be fair to him. However, Jaminet does make a lot of errors in this game. Then we get a try, out of nothing almost. Scotland kicked the ball away, I think it's Russell, but the lesson is just don't kick it to Dupont. He's unbelievable, burns Darcy Graham, boshes Price, makes a good 60 metres, and then in the end it's Willemse who crashes over for the try, 0-7 out of nothing there. And that kind of was the difference in this game, the individual quality of France, too good. Kind of what I said in my previews, I thought that's what would be the difference. In this case, it definitely was. And it's just the danger of that French team, especially off counter-attack, loose kicks, turnovers. That's where they were so good. Scotland do get into some good attacking phases, as they did in the whole game, to be fair. And they get a penalty off that, 3-7. Jaminet spots some good space and does one of his good things in the game with a booming 50-22. And that leads to another try, the second try for France. Brilliantly worked wide from the line out. The Scots cover nicely, but somehow by the prop, beautifully offloads inside to Moefana, who looked very strong in attack. So that's 3-12 straight away, 12 minutes in. So, you know, alarm bells for Scotland. Anything loose is going to get punished by this brilliant French attack. And like I said, Darge looking quality in defence and also in attack at times as well. Anyway, Scotland on 20 minutes has been good all game in the scrum and they get a good penalty there. So at this point I wrote, don't panic Scotland, they're playing pretty well. You know, they're in parity in certain places and we know France make mistakes and they can definitely get back in it. And 5 minutes later, they absolutely do. And it's pure comedy, really, in the build-up. Jaminet goes for some sort of intercept, but heads the ball, gives away a penalty. Price almost goes over, but it's not quite. TMO says not grounded, but they do run the penalty, and eventually Darge scores. Really nice, just around the corner play. Nice little hold-in run from Price. Feeds Darge, who also does a nice little change of angle to go over. So fantastic for him. 10-12, game is all back on. Now, holy smokes, it's all Darge at the moment on 27 minutes. France do launch a good attack, but he wins another turnover penalty. Jaminet continues his shocker, missing kicks at goals, knock-ons, dropping high balls. Yeah, a bit of a game to forget for him, but both sides are looking dangerous. And I put here, it probably comes down to who makes the least mistakes. And then we should get a try for Scotland. It's a real heartbreaker. Van der Merwe, searing break. He looked good this game, actually, considering he's had 2 maybe under par games for him. Harris has to make a big long pass to Hogg. Is the pass a little bit too in front, or should Hogg make the catch? Well, I don't know, but it's certainly not the first time Hogg has dropped the ball with a certain try. He is distraught. That was a bit of a killer to go in the lead. And like I said, this first half really was close. But then with, time up on the clock, a chaotic end, it's Dante with a power bump in midfield that sets up a full attack to the left and a full attack to the right. Fiku, brilliant speed and power, smashes off Price, I think. Spots that the wide men aren't out there. His Price in the flanker, finishes in the corner, 10-19, so a massive swing from potentially Scotland going in at half-time ahead to France being over a score ahead. So a great half. Scotland will be disappointed, but they're still in this game. Just a note at this point, Haining and Bradbury, Darge's other back row teammates, just look a cut below, to be honest. I think they're missing Watson, Ferguson, Ritchie, so definitely something to make a note of there. Then on 41 minutes, an absolute killer moment. Scotland are actually building a really good attack, but France turn it over and go 80 metres. It is a cruel bounce of the ball from a chip from Pinot for sure, but Dante's there to collect, scores the try, 10-26, a bit of a killer. I wonder if that was the game at this point. I know there's a long time to go, but I think that was the winning point there. Fiku's also on fire, brilliant pump and pass to create that try as well. Anyway, Scotland are still attacking well. A lightning break from Price from the scrum leads to a penalty, get a good maul going, but strong defence from the French easily repels the phases, and Scotland have to make hay when they get those chances with 60 points down, and they do squander another chance about 5 minutes late in the same sort of position. And I'm just making a note here about Rory Darge. It's his speed to get in those positions, especially in defence, that makes him so great. Cover tackles, turnovers, you can't teach speed, and he has it in bags. Anyway, Scotland are firing shots, but like I said, not converting. And then a couple of penalties. France starting to get a few cheap penalties from Scotland now, get deep in their own territory. And Scotland, they're trying to run the ball from their own 22, and they kind of have to, I suppose. They're being ambitious, possibly a little desperate, but then again, France get that turnover. Fiku, I think, is the turnover, and it's a stroll in for Pinot again. 10-31, definitely game over now, I would say. And now France, their defence definitely backs off a bit, as in they're making their tackles, but they're not contesting until it's obvious. And then when they win that penalty, they go deep in the 22 and just wind this clock down. And dare I say, that ending pack for Scotland starting to look a little bit average in certain places compared to some of the other international players out there. They're having to run everything, they're making mistakes, and France are just hoovering up those easy penalties. On 70 minutes, holy smokes, it's Rory Darge again with another fantastic jackal penalty. I really think he should have had player of the match. Although it goes to Dupont, who was amazing. But anyway, Darge, absolutely the bright light. On 72 minutes, France are giving Scotland absolutely nothing. They're just grinding them down in their own 22 or keeping them in their own 22. And we get another try for Pinot from a lovely cross-field kick just to rub salt into the wound. To be fair to Scotland, they keep on fighting. Their attack has been dangerous all game. And it's the substitute Kinghorn who makes a brilliant searing break. In the end, it goes to Van der Merwe who scores, so I think they do deserve that. 17-36, but still, it's no bonus point for Scotland. Their Six Nations is now over. France march on with some fantastic play, especially on the turnover. Some standout performances from the likes of Dupont, and also, I would say, Pinot and Fiku in the backs. Really impressive. So let me know what you think of that game, guys, and I'll catch you next time.